Good day everyone. We are going to discuss about the topic 1, which is the common characteristics of business market. But before we discuss the characteristics, we are going to discuss first what is business market. So business market are defined as all organizations that procure products or services that are consequently used in manufacturing other goods and facilitating service for other consumers. So business market are all organizations that gets products or services where they can use it to make another goods and make easily quick services for other consumers, like the wholesalers and retailers, because they deal with the demands and sale of goods and services for further selling and renting. So let's proceed to the characteristics of business market. So the first characteristics is market structure and demand. So in market structure and demand, business markets contain fewer but larger buyers. So as we can see that when it comes to the customers in the business market, it has a very few customers. Those business buyers won't buy your product or services in small, but they will buy it in a large quantities. So their orders are big. So that's why business markets contain fewer but larger buyers. Another is business customers are more geographically concentrated. So our mind is wanted or usual to the consumer's market where there will be shops in the market. So people would visit the shop or the market and they would buy stuff. But the business market doesn't work that way. So in business market, it's different because customers and buyers in business market are concentrated at vast geographical distances. So meaning, they like to buy in a large distance or other part and not just in one place or one part only. Another is business buyers' demand is derived from final consumer demand. So the only reason that one business would buy the products and services from the other business, it is because its final products are selling in the market. So once the final products stop selling in the market, then the business stops buying the products. Meaning, whatever products would be popular and mostly buy by the consumers is they will go for that and buy the products and services from other business to sell in the market. Another is demand in many business market is more inelastic. Inelastic means the same or not change, not affected as much as in the short run by price changes. So the good thing about the demand in the business market is that the prices don't usually affect the demands. Prices don't change. Just like what I said, it is inelastic. And the last one is demand in business markets fluctuates more quickly. So businesses usually prefer to buy products at a very low price because they have to add a value in it to make the final product for the end customers. When the prices gets higher because of the number of reasons, the business would stop buying the products. It is because they know that the final product would be costly. High product price won't sell in the market. So meaning, they will not sell it in the market because they know already that it was costly, which the customers can't afford to buy it.
Hey everyone, so this is our continuation of our report. So number 2 is nature of buying unit. So nature of buying unit, businesses purchase involve more buyers. When it comes to purchase the business, then the business buys and sells of the same time to other business. Buying involves a more professional purchasing effort. The purchasing process of business market is very detail-oriented. Business prefer to buy products from those businesses who deliver them from the required product. It usually involves many technical professionals and check the sustainability of the product. Once they approve, then the company purchase of the product. Research, these are the examples of nature of buying unit. So we can define a product anything like goods, services, and ideas that can be often in a market to satisfy customers' need and wants. A product has bundled of tangible and intangible characteristics. Another example of product of nature of buying unit is a pair of Nike shoes, mobile phone device, a Volvo truck, a Samsung LED, services, a
Good day, everyone. This will be the continuation about the common characteristics of a business market. So, about this is about kind of decision and decision process. So, as we all know, in every entrepreneur or every business entrepreneur, they have to be wise in making a decision for their long-term businesses. So now, the kind of decision first is the business buyers business buyers usually face more complex buying decision. So it means that business buying decisions aren't really simple because they're usually long-term based. The company makes sure that the person they're going to be in business with, they should be the right people. Business check their backgrounds and histories of each other business before signing the deal. And that is about the business buyers usually face more complex buying decisions. The second is the business buying process is more formalized. So it is said that it means business usually follow the complete chain of command and the protocol of their organization before making the final decision. Having said, before that it's a long-term relationship, that's why both businesses make sure that all sides are covered. So, and the third one is buyers and sellers work more closely to build a close, long run relationship. It is said that when both companies know that they can be a good buyer, seller, after verifying each other's backgrounds, then they prefer to collaborate to make the final decision. It is because they both know that it is in their interest to work together. So that is the continuation of our about the common characteristics of business market. So most of the entrepreneur, they have to be wise on how to manage their business, and they have to be wise in making decision. that that they are going to make. And that would be all. Thank you.
So hello everyone, for our number 2, we have the legal forms of businesses. So we have the sole proprietorship, the partnership, and corporation. So the first one is sole proprietorship. So what is a sole proprietorship? A sole proprietorship is a business structure owned by an individual who generally has full control and authority over the business. So the business owner is referred as the sole proprietor and exclusively owns all assets and profits of the business. So the example for these sole proprietors include small businesses such as local grocery stores, a local clothes stores, an artist, freelance writer, IT freelance graphic designer, and etc.
In a partnership, two or more partners shares ownership of a firm. A partnership is similar to a sole proprietorship in that the partners are the only beneficiaries of the firm's profit, but they are also responsible for any losses and dips. Partnership can be especially attractive if each person's expertise complements the others.
The different industries in the country today. First is health and wellness. Organic products. Health and wellness organic products reduce public health risk to farm workers, their families, and customers by minimizing their exposure to toxic and persistent chemicals on the farm and in food, the soil in which they work and play, the air they breathe, the water they drink. How big is health and wellness industry? Well, the healthy eating, nutrition, and weight loss sector grew from $912 billion in 2019 to $946 billion in 2020. It is one of the only wellness sectors that maintained a positive growth, a positive trajectory during the COVID-19 pandemic. For example, and organic food products in health and wellnesses are vegetables, fruits, eggs, milk, and meats is produced without synthetic or human-made pesticides, herbicides, and fertilizers. Organic farmers may use natural food production. The second industry in our country today is a hotel, restaurant, and tourism, specialized farm products. The hospitality and tourism industry is a vast sector that includes all the economic activities that directly or indirectly contribute to or depend upon travel and tourism. These industry sectors includes hotel resorts. Today, the hospitality is made up of four distinct sectors. First sectors is lodging. It refers to the renting of a short-term dwelling. People who traveled and stay away from home for more than a day need lodging for sleep, rest, shower, food safety, shelter from cold temperatures, or rain storage to luggage, and access to the common household functions. Second one is food beverage services. Food beverage services sectors contributes a great deal to the profits in hospitality industry. Next sector is recreational services. When we see recreational services, it is refers to all those activities that people who choose to do to refresh their bodies and minds, and it makes their leisure time more interesting and enjoyable. For an examples, walking, swimming, and meditation, reading, or playing games and dancing. Last sector is travel and tourism. We all travel and have been a tourist perhaps many times in our life. Tourism and tourist are so common words that we find or that we mention in our newspapers and magazines almost on a daily basis. So that's all.
Banking and finance, financing crop production. So, even though through the terms banking and finance are most of the time used together as an institution, but there is a very big difference in both. So, banking finance are two different matters if subject, but both terms collectively refers to the services and activities by banking and non-banking financial institution. The banking involves an institution holding money on behalf of customers that is appearing at the bank for a withdrawal by writing check to a third party, electronic machines, mobile or short codes transaction. So the banking system also provides loans to service and individuals. So they offer certified check to customers quartering payment to third parties, ATM cards, mobile and short codes charges. So the member of banking system and the function that typically perform include the commercial banks, investment banks, national central banks, and commercial bank. And then let's talk about the commercial banks. So commercial banks that takes deposit and make loans. So the investment banks is that specialize in capital market issues and trading. And the national central banks that issues currency and set monetary capital policy. So the banking is becoming the most important part of today's business. Many of us requires the service of bank in conducting our day-to-day transaction, which also services if the banking system. So let's talk about the finance. So this is non-banking financial institution, and that includes a number of companies that provide financial, which is the insurance companies, brokerage, financial research firms, pension funds, investment funds, and private equity firms. So, the main function of the financial services firms is managing investors' money and assets. So, for example, service provided by some of these financial firms are follows. So, number one, insurance companies. So, insurance companies provide a coverage against a predicted future crisis for a few known as premium. So, number two, hedge funds. So, it is the pools of money collected from wealthy investors' wealth. And then the financial research firms, it provides large corporation analysis and insights into investments decision. So these are the difference between banking and finance. So the main difference between banking and finance is that non-banking financial institution that cannot take deposits from customers as traditional banks do. Banks provide services include deposits, giving loans, and securities underwriting, and also offering shares to the public. Let's talk about the manufacturing, processing farm products as raw materials. So, manufacturing is production of goods through the use of labor machinery tools, biological or chemical processing, or formulation. So, there are types of manufacturing. So, manufacturing production. So, number one is make to stick, MTS. So, a factory produces goods to stock stores and showrooms. Then, number two is make to order. So, it is called MTO. So, the producer waits for orders before manufacturing. So, number three is make to assemble. So, make to assemble, it is MTA. So, the factory produces component part in anticipation of orders from assembly. So, a manufacturing business may need many parts for the complicated assembly of a quality product, or just the few for making a simple good. So, let's talk about the raw materials. So, the raw materials are used in a multitude of products and can take many different forms. So, the raw materials are the input goods or inventory that company needs to manufacturing its products. So, for example, the steel used to manufacture vehicles would be a raw materials for an automobile manufacturing. So, that is the example. And then, the raw materials are commodities that are bought and sold on commodities exchange worldwide. Traders buy sell raw materials in the factory market because raw materials are factor if production as are labor and capital. So, for example of raw materials. So, the example of raw materials is the steel, lumber, oil, plastic, corn, natural grain, coal, gasoline, forest resources. So, that is the example of raw materials.
Transport and logistics from farm to market. Transport and logistics helps to travel a long distance in a short period of time. It also helps in importing and exporting goods, transporting goods from one place to another. Transportation is the activity of taking goods or people from one place to another in a vehicle. Transportation may take place by air, water, rail, road, and etc. The goal for this is to minimize transportation cost while also meeting demand for products.
And the logistic is the management of the inward and outward transportation of goods from the manufacturer to the end user. So in transportation services helps the logistics by moving goods from locations where they are sourced to locations where they are demanded. Transportation provides the essential services of linking a company to its supplier and customers. So the advantages of the transport and logistic is the public importance reduces air pollution and the improve of community mobility. Wholesale and retail trade. Wholesaling in the process where the wholesaler purchases product in bulk from the manufacturer. Retailing is when the retailer purchases product from the wholesaler and sell it further in small quantities to the end customer. The difference between wholesale and retail is that in a wholesale mode, you don't sell product directly to customers. In a retailing model, you obtain products from a distributor and sell product directly to consumers. And the advantages of the wholesale and retail trade is you'll save money and you'll familiarize yourself with industry and knowledge.
So next is creative industries using farm byproducts. Are those based on individual creativity, skill, and talent, or which have the potential to create wealth and jobs through the development or production of intellectual property. So, the creative industry for farm products can contribute to economic growth through the creation of a wide variety of jobs. When there is training and development being offered, there will be a shift in the mindset of the participants, and this will result in people investing more in this sector. Next is diversified strategies, farming and fishing. So, diversification in the context of the fisheries sector can be understood in many different ways. Some authors, speaking of diversification, mean, for instance, first, diversification of primary production activities. Example, new fishing techniques and gear, or diversification within the fishing sector. Second, diversification of activities within the fish value chain, often into those that add value to fish products, direct sales marketing. Third, flurry activity whereby fishermen and their families continue to obtain some income from fishing but also carry out complementary activities such as tourism or catering. Fourth is broader diversification of the fisheries area into sectors unrelated to fishing such as social services, renewable energies, or other emerging sectors. So, diversification is relevant for many types of areas offering to fishermen, their families, and other members of fisheries community a possibility to create new sources of employment and income, while also providing service that help fisheries areas remain viable places to live, fish, and do business. Next is high-value crop production. So, high-value crops generally refer to staple agricultural crops such as vegetables, fruits, flowers, ornamentals, condiments, and spices. So, most high-value agricultural crops are those known to have a higher net return per hectare of land than staples or other widely grown crops. Examples are of these commodities include abaca, banana, cacao, calamansi, cassava, coconut, coffee, corn, mango, oil palm, onion, pineapple, rice, rubber, sugar, or vegetables, or also livestock and poultry.
So now let's proceed to the number 4, checking the needs, wants, and demands of the market through environmental scanning process. The needs and demands of the community can be determined through environmental scanning process. So what is environmental scanning? Environmental scanning is a process that systematically surveys and interprets relevant data to identify external opportunities and threats that could influence future decisions. It is closely related to a SWOT or strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats analysis and should be used as part of the strategic planning process. In this process, an aspiring entrepreneur must make a thorough examination of the target market before a particular business is set. A target market is a group of potential customers that you identify to sell products or services to. They are the people who are likely to benefit from the products or services your business is selling. Many elements of the target market can change from month to month or a year to year. Thus, updated data and information of the following must be gathered, which shall become the basis of setting up the planned business.
So first thing to consider in putting up a business is A, is demographic data such as population, size, and growth rate. So why it is important in business, the demographic data? It is important because it is helped to identify the individual members of an audience by selecting key characteristics, wants, and needs. So this allows company to tailor their efforts based on a particular segment of their customer base.
Hello everybody, I am Roslyn Dahao and I will going to show you the list of competitors and suppliers which are available and also be sourced in Department of Trade and Industry. Since environmental scanning is a review of external sources to discover factors that impact a business, the main goal is to identify and consult sources outside the business. Although these sources are uncontrollable from the business's perspective, it is important to consider them in the decision-making process. So in checking the needs, wants, and demands of the market, I will show first the needs. So the following are the list of food industry's competitors. So we have here coffee, beverages, seasonings, dairy product, fats and oils, bakery products, fruits and vegetables, meat and poultry products, seafood products,
Last thing to consider in putting up a business is the result of a reliable mini survey using considerable sample of target market. So it is very important. To identify a target market to allow market to focus on those mostly likely of purchase the product. So limiting the population panel's research and budget to the customers with the highest profit potential. So that are the things that we need to consider in putting up a business.
The 4 M's of production. The first M is manpower, second is money, third materials, and fourth is the machines. First, we will talk about what is manpower. Manpower is the human labor force involved in the manufacturing of products, or defined as the total number of individuals who are employed in a company. Manpower is also one of the most crucial assets in production. Without appropriate manpower, the work cannot happen.
Money, it is known to be the life juice of the business and has to do with the economic status of the business. This can be in paper bills or coin, generally used to pay for goods and services, repayment of debts, and saving or restoring purchasing power of the business. Money is one of the most important things to run the business. Money has the power. If we have it, we can choose the best kind of business that we are planning to start. But remember, the money you invested is useless without your brilliant ideas, efforts, and consistency. Because almost every business needs to pay expenses before you can start making money to pay bills.
This is the continuation of the 4 M's of production. So the third M of the production is the materials. So what is materials for? Materials production. Production materials means raw materials, components, sub-assemblies, parts, other supplies, and any industrial services required for the manufacturing of products, including shared production materials. Being able to produce materials with customized properties is the foundation of a successful industrial production process. The entrepreneur should decide on what route to choose when it comes to materials requisitioning. So as you can see in the picture, it is a linear system of the materials economy. So we have the extraction to production, to distribution, to consumption, and to disposal. Materials production, it play an important role in the production process to a great extent, as the success of the economy of a country is determined by the amount of natural resources held by a country within its border.
Good day everyone, good day ma'am. I am Chairman May Bartolaba, and for the continuation of our report in the 4 M's of production is what we call machine. So machine is any semi or fully automated devices that are used in converting raw materials into marketable products or output. It is used in the production of goods and delivery services. So in the process of selecting or purchasing machine or equipment, you have to consider the entrepreneur may consider the types of product to be produced. So you have to choose a machine or equipment that is suitable for the product that you are going or planning to produce. The next one is production system to be adopted. So what are the production system that you need to be adopted, or production system to be adopted, and that will be the machine or equipment that you are going to purchase. Another, cost of the equipment. So you have to think if that equipment or machine is costly and or it is not, but and it is suitable or within the range of your finances or within the range of your capital. And the next one is the capacity of the equipment. Yes, we have to consider, the entrepreneur must consider the capacity of the equipment in purchasing equipment or machine. Because if your production is loaded, then your equipment is not capable of that overloading production of your product, then the equipment or the machine is not suitable for your production because the capacity is low and your production is very fast. So you have to check the capacity of the equipment. And the next one is the availability of spare parts in the local market. So you have to canvass or search if that equipment or the spare parts of that equipment is just available in your local market, that you won't have to go to another place or cities just to find spare parts of your equipment or machine. And the last and most important one is the efficiency and the skills required in running the equipment. So this is very important that your manpower or the person that you assigned to use that equipment is skillful enough in using that machine. For example, in a bakery, you hired in the bakery, the one that is cooking is what we call the hornero. So the hornero is not the baker. So if you told the hornero to make a dough and he used the dough roller, and he is not skillful enough in using that kind of machine, then maybe he will get injured, because once the rolling pin is rolling and the person is not skillful or knowledgeable enough in using the machine, then he might the fingers might get into the rolling pin while it's rolling. So that is why the efficiency and the skills is really important in handling machine in the production. So you have to hire a person that is skillful and knowledgeable enough in handling that particular equipment or machine. And that is my report about the machine. That is one of the 4 M's of production. Thank you.